Friends, if you trade and have ever felt that, you understand the market, your analysis is correct, the setup looks perfect, but still, you don't make money, or if you do, it doesn't last, then believe me, the problem is not with the strategy, the problem is in your mind. And this is the truth that Mark Douglas shared in The Disciplined Trader. This book is not about indicators, this book is not about the market, this book is about your thinking. It starts with a question. If everyone has the same charts in the market, the same indicators, then why do some people consistently make money, and most people lose? Mark Douglas says, because the market is a psychological environment. Here, the biggest enemy is not loss. The biggest enemy is fear. The story of every trader is almost the same. In the beginning, there is excitement. The first win comes. Confidence increases. Then, one day, the market moves against you. A loss occurs, and from there, a new story begins in the mind. Don't take a trade now. What if I lose again? Let's wait. And that very trade moves up without you. Mark Douglas says, the market doesn't harm you, you harm yourself with your own fear. The biggest fear in the market is the fear of being wrong. We have been taught since childhood that being wrong is bad. Wrong answer in school equals punishment. Mistake in society equals shame. Mistake at work equals fear. But in the market, mistake is normal. Here, 60 out of 100 trades being wrong is normal for a professional trader. But the problem is that we cannot accept this reality. A trader takes a trade. The market goes against them. Now there are two paths. Either accept the loss or save the ego. Most people save the ego. They say, the market will turn around now. Let's wait a little longer. And a small loss slowly turns into a big disaster. Mark Douglas clearly states, a trader doesn't die from loss. A trader dies from running away from loss. Discipline in the market means not just following a rule. Discipline means doing what is right, even if it is uncomfortable. Placing a stop loss is uncomfortable. Accepting a loss is uncomfortable. But this is survival. Mark Douglas explains a very important point. The market is random. Whether you are right or wrong in a trade, you cannot control this. But you can control how much risk you take, how much the loss will be, how much emotion there will be. A professional trader doesn't focus on the outcome, they focus on the process. Here is a major psychological trap. When you make money on a trade, your mind wants that feeling again. And when that feeling doesn't come, frustration begins. Overtrading is born here. Mark Douglas says, the market is not a place for pleasure, it is a place for execution. Most traders come to the market to prove something, to prove themselves, to prove to others, or to recover their losses. And this thinking makes the trader weak. There is no need to prove anything in the market. The market doesn't reward you because you are smart. The market rewards because you followed the rules. The most powerful truth of this book is, the market is not against you. The market is neutral. You are your own enemy. By the end of part 1, Mark Douglas presents a bitter truth to us. If you are not disciplined, even the best strategy will fail. If you cannot control your emotion, the market will control you. And from here begins the true journey of a trader, where they learn to read themselves, not the chart. In the next part, we will see how fear and greed spoil decisions, why traders repeat the same mistake again and again, and how to develop a disciplined mindset. Friends, in part 1, you saw that the real enemy in the market is not outside, but inside. Now in part 2, Mark Douglas opens up the mind that causes traders to repeat the same mistakes again and again. Every trader thinks, this time it will be different. This time, I am in control. This time, emotion won't come. But as soon as money is at risk, the mind goes back to the old pattern. Why? Because our mind seeks certainty, and the market gives uncertainty. This conflict breaks the trader. There is no guarantee in the market. You can take the best setup, take the perfect entry, and still the trade can result in a loss. And this is what the trader cannot accept. Mark Douglas says, until you accept uncertainty, you cannot become a disciplined trader. Most traders think, if I do more analysis, I won't lose. But analysis doesn't stop losses. Risk management does. And risk management comes when you accept that loss is possible in every trade. A very common mistake is, a trader is confident before taking the trade, but gets scared after taking the trade. Why? Because they had not mentally accepted the loss. Mark Douglas says, if you haven't accepted the loss before taking the trade, you have no right to take the trade. A major part of discipline is following the rules, without negotiation. But most traders treat rules like a traffic signal. No one is watching, so let's go. There is no police in the market, but punishment is guaranteed. The most dangerous habit of a trader is hope. The market will come back. Let's wait a little bit. Hope is the sweetest poison for a trader. Mark Douglas clearly states, hope is not a strategy. A disciplined trader does not form an emotional attachment to the market. They do not love any stock. They do not get attached to any trade. For them, every trade is just an event, neither good nor bad, just a possibility. This is where Mark Douglas introduces a powerful concept, probability thinking. Every trade is a probability. A sample, you do not know which trade will give profit, but you do know that if you follow the same rules repeatedly, in the long term, the result will be in your favor. A professional trader does not make money from one trade. They make money from a series of trades. And this thinking is what differentiates a beginner and a professional. By the end of part 2, Mark Douglas puts forward a painful truth. The market doesn't want to make you disciplined. The market exposes you. If you are not disciplined, the market will show you the same thing again and again until you learn. In the next part, we will see how the belief system controls trading, why some people cannot follow rules, and how to practically develop a disciplined mindset. Friends, if you think that discipline comes only from following rules, then this is where you are making a mistake. Mark Douglas says discipline does not come from outside, discipline is born from within. Every person has certain beliefs that they have learned since childhood. Being wrong is bad. Losing means failure. If I am smart, I should win. But the market does not accept these beliefs. The market says, there is no right or wrong here. There is only probability. This is where the trader's mind goes into conflict. The trade goes into a loss, and the mind says, you are wrong. You are weak. You can't do it. And to avoid this mental pain, the trader breaks the rules. Mark Douglas calls this self-sabotage. The trader knows what is right, yet they do what is wrong. Removing the stop-loss, overtrading, taking revenge trades, all this is not stupidity, it is an attempt to escape from pain. To become a disciplined trader, you must first accept this. Loss is not personal. The market does not judge you. The market does not call you a failure. Loss is just a cost of running the business. Mark Douglas says a very deep thing. Until you treat loss as emotionally neutral, discipline is impossible. After a loss, a professional trader does not ask themselves, why was I wrong? They ask, did I follow the rules? If the answer is yes, then the trade is successful even if a loss occurred. This is where the mindset completely changes. A beginner sees the outcome. A professional sees the execution. Now the question is, how do beliefs change? Mark Douglas says beliefs don't change through lectures, they change through experience. But experience works when you make a conscious effort. The process of developing discipline is slow. First, you are afraid, then you observe, then you accept, and slowly you become free. Free from fear, free from hope, free from ego. Mark Douglas says, when taking a trade feels as normal as breathing, then understand that discipline has come. By the end of part 3, the trader understands, fighting the market is futile. Changing oneself is the way. Loss is not the enemy. Discipline is not a force, it is a natural state. Now in the last part, we will see how a disciplined trader thinks, how peace comes in the market, and what is the real secret of consistency. Friends, by now you must have understood that the real fight in trading is not with charts, it is inside your mind. In this last part, Mark Douglas gives a mindset that makes the trader emotionally free. A disciplined trader does not try to control the market. They just do one thing, control themselves. For them, the market is not an enemy, not a friend, just an environment. The biggest change comes when the trader accepts that, I can be wrong in every trade. As soon as this is accepted, fear begins to disappear. Because fear exists where there is an expectation of certainty. For a professional trader, every trade is an independent event. What the previous trade was, what the next trade will be, does not matter to them. They only stay in the current moment. Mark Douglas says, consistency does not come from the market, consistency comes from the trader. The market is chaotic, but the disciplined trader's mind is stable. A disciplined trader knows they cannot predict the market. They will not win every day. They will not take every opportunity, and this acceptance makes them powerful. Now trading is no longer a struggle for them. No fear, no hope, no desperation, just rules and execution. This is the stage where the trader becomes peaceful. Profit becomes a side effect. Mark Douglas's final and deepest lesson: you don't need to be right to make money. You only need to be disciplined. This single line is the entire book. A disciplined trader is not arrogant in victory, is not broken in defeat, does not fight the market, improves themselves, and in the long term, they are the one who survives. Friends, today you have not just heard a book summary. Today you have understood the harshest and truest reality of trading. Mark Douglas does not teach us which indicator to use, which setup to take. He teaches us how to manage ourselves. Because in the market, defeat does not come from strategy. Defeat comes from fear, greed, and ego. Remember, there is no need to conquer the market. The market is always right. You have to conquer your own mind. The day you accept loss, the day you treat every trade as just a probability, the day you start following the rules without question, on that very day you will not just be a trader, you will become a disciplined trader. And then money will follow you. If you got even one thought from this video that changed your perspective, then don't stop it here. Like it. Comment on what the most powerful lesson was. Subscribe to the channel, because here we don't just teach trading, we make traders. See you again with another legendary book, another deep mindset, and another transformation. Until then, trade less, think more. Stay disciplined. Thank you for watching.